Good morning and welcome to today's class. Our last section was the first part of the inventory management and the manufacturing. And today we're going to be having our concluding class. Okay, last week we actually touched the item price, stock transaction, purchase circle, that's the purchase receipt, purchase order, and the purchase invoice. So before I start, I said the last time that if you have a question, you can just jot them down. I will look at them today in today's class. So if you have any question, let's look at them first before we actually kick start. Do we have a question from our last class? Okay, please, I'll be asking questions instead. I would actually like to put faces to the name. So if you don't mind, you have to like turn the camera. So today we're going to be looking at material request, reports, the bill of material, and also work order. But before we actually go to that side, I'll be asking questions, and I would like us to answer these questions. So I think Eric wasn't in our last class. I'm seeing new names today. Good morning. Good morning, Eric.
Yeah, good morning.
You're welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sure.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Also, yeah, wasn't in our last class. Good morning, Lillian.
Good morning, Lami. Hello.
Good morning, Mayowa. Please, can you unmute your speaker? Mute your speaker. So today we are going to be having a recap of everything we actually touched last week. Starting from the item, then we're looking at our purchase circle. So please, Miss Ufreke, yes, I'm starting with you today again. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Lami.
Please, can I put a face to the name, please? Camera on, please.
My room is dark. I'm in a dark place.
Okay, and in that space.
Yes, please.
All right, please, for the sake of those that were not in class yesterday, our last class, can you explain to us what we meant by inventory management?
Yeah, you told us that inventory management is the management of raw materials, components, and finished products. And you also told us why inventory management are required. You said it helps to prevent wastage. It helps to prevent having unnecessary products. It helps us to produce things that are really in need and know the shelf life of products and know when supplies are out of stock, or you can call it stock balance.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Mrs. Okay. Mr. Mayowa. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. You're welcome. Okay, as a business owner, this is actually for the entire class, actually. As a business owner, you approached me. Like I explained the last time, I have different sections in my business. I have my suya sports, I have different sections. So now as a business owner, I complain to you my major challenges, which is that I don't you have in stock what I don't have in stock. Now you're introducing the inventory management to me. What would be your main points? Like why do you really think I need this inventory management in my business? Let me stop.
So I didn't get the question. Sorry, please.
Like I said, as a business owner, you're approaching me and I explained to you what I'm going through, what is happening in my business already, my major
Okay.
challenges. Now you are trying to recommend inventory management to me. What would be your most important points? Like, why do you think I would need inventory management in my system, in my business?
Um, I would say you actually needed to know the level of purchases that is actually happening in your business. To know the kind of um, goods that maybe customers buy a lot and that is actually selling a lot. Like the goods that is actually maybe the go-to goods in your business that people actually buy a lot. So times to track your sales, to track sales and to track your level of stock in real time. And it's also maybe it help you to maybe give you details about your products, your production, your warehouse, and maybe help you to organize it in a proper way. This to be able to optimize productivity for your business. So so starting from possibly maybe monitoring the level of stock, this kind of stock you have, to maybe processing the purchase order, then procurement generally. So it kind of arranges it, organizes it in a very, very um, well-designed manner that would help you to optimize your productivity. So, so I think those are the reasons I would give to the person.
Okay, now I'm telling you now, since you explained all of this, being the business owner,
Since I've
I'm
also,
now saying that. Can you hear me?
hello, yeah, what is yeah, what's
I said, after hearing everything you just listed,
okay,
I'm telling you now that I actually have someone who monitors my store. I have a
okay,
person around who does all of these things. Why do you still
okay.
think I need a system?
You have the person that monitors your business.
Yeah, like I have a store manager already.
Okay. So what's the question, please? Sorry.
I said, after listening to all of this,
Okay.
as a business owner now, I'm trying to tell you that I have a store manager already. Like I have someone who is in charge of my store, someone who actually keeps record of all of these things. How he or she keeps the record is not something I am going to disclose to you. But then I have somebody who does all of this. So why do you still think I need a system if I have someone there?
Um. The thing is, most people are actually looking for ease of at which the way they kind of run their businesses, the ease at which these transactions are made and these processes occurs. So I feel you need inventory management because of the ease it kind of offers to process these activities simultaneously. So um, comparing that to the maybe original distance that you have, it would help you kind of align them in a particular direction at which it would be easier for you to actually to monitor it by oneself directly. And
I can hear you, please. Can you speak up?
I said I'm talking about the ease now, the ease at which all these processes to occur. Like it will help you to the easy actuation of all these processes. Like it will help you to monitor it with very, very good ease by oneself. All these processes that occurs, maybe stock inventory, stock monitoring, procurement, and everything like that. So they are kind of intertwined from one process to another. So the ease at which these processes can occur is what this will actually offer you. So that's
Thank you. Thank you very much. So can someone else try that, please? Let me come again with the question. I said, according to Mr. Mayowa, right?
Yes.
He listed out some of the reasons I will be needing inventory management, the system inventory management, organization management. Now I am telling him that despite all of this, I have a person in my store in form of a store manager. Why else do I need? I have a store person in my store in form of a store manager. Why else do you think I need a system inventory management? Someone try.
Okay. For me, I will take this route. So I will first of all ask him how trustworthy, how trustworthy is the person to you? So because everybody basically make mistakes and everybody gets tempted. So you can't just base your business solely on someone like that's working for you, someone that's trying to earn a living, that's trying to look for all means to make money. That's one. That's one this thing. Then another one is in terms of your stock. This your your manager that you so okay. So a call came in just now. That's why. So in terms of your stock, this manager you have, how often do you see your inventory? Do you know what's going on? Is it does it how is it going to show you? Does it come to your place, your house every day with a register or something? Does he like how much does he spend to just do just that? Something that this ERP system can just simplify with just like going to a particular URL or something, or visiting a particular page that you can easily just check your inventory. So using the ERP system, this will simplify all this process of you checking your inventory. You can easily just check your inventory. You can easily just get notifications of the stock you have, of which stock is running low, which one you need to buy. So those, I feel those that point, I feel those are the two I really. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So those are the 2 points I can think of.
Thank you very much, Harry. All right, Mr. Cricket, I can see your answer.
Yeah, I feel humans are humans and humans will always make mistakes, even though we try so much to be organized. At some point, we still get unorganized. So when you have a system that would help organize all your business in one app, the app makes business easy. It helps you organize, to help the client organize all his or her data, prevent wastage, because most times this human or the worker or the store manager would not see that some items are getting are going to waste, or they are so much and they're not going to be used immediately. That is the shelf life of the product, which will help avoid wastage and theft. Sometimes people come in and steal, even if you have a store manager, things still get missing. You get to see that, oh, this app, nothing can get missing and nothing will get wasted. And your stock balance, it will help you to know the number of stocks that you're using and the number you're not using. at some particular points, and the numbers, you said something about stock ledger, I guess. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it just help you organize your data instead of moving from one place to another, or moving to your store, or asking your store manager to bring his or her record for you to track it. And you might be very busy and you might not have the time to track everything.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was nice. Thank you very much. Someone else wants to contribute to this?
Lami.
I'm a facilitator, please.
Lami. Lami, how are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon. Welcome to the class.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to contribute.
Of course, yeah, you can contribute.
Yeah. And good afternoon, everyone. I think everybody's on track with their takes. Very correct. The system allows for accountability and transparency too. You know, apart from having trust issues with your employee, you have to be on the safe side. You have to be sure that everything is accounted for, and that's where the system will help. So when we're talking about the stock ledger and the stock balance, that gives us a very clear picture of whatever we have in our warehouses. And like Eric said, and Mrs. Indifreke, correct me if I'm wrong, theft is one big issue most businesses face, and that can be eliminated using the system software. It will help ease the stress of having to go back and forth with the stock taking. So once stock has been taken from the beginning, then the system will take action from then onwards. So yes, you guys are very, very correct about that. So that's my little contribution here. Lami.
Yeah, thank you very much. Do we still have someone else that wants to add to this? We have a call. Mr. Oladimeji. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Yes,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, good morning, ma. Good morning, everyone. I think the summary of all is the system creates a sort of check and balance for the business, checkmating the work of the store manager, and also easy access for the business owner. At least you can be in the comfort of your home and try to check what is going on in the business without having to go there or to see things physically, and thereby giving you easy access and monitoring for the business. I think that's my viewpoint. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for putting to this. Okay, as now I'm putting myself as a business owner. One thing I want us to understand is that every business owner have this level of trust for the stock manager until you actually put them otherwise. I am a business owner and I have someone in my store. Sometimes we tend to have like a family member or someone they feel they can actually trust. So in terms of debt and in terms of theft, it takes a while for you to actually convince a business owner. Not all though, some are actually having their doubts already before you came. Now for some that don't have their doubts yet, that just feel like, oh, things are just wasting. It's not like they're stealing it. These things are just wasting. It's just best to make them understand that the system will just help them, give them some kind of transparency to their stock. They don't need to call this one person, this stock manager or whatever it is. They don't need to call the person to know if there is If there's still rice in the store, if there's still beans in the store, do we still have this in the store? They don't really need to do all of that. Even if this person is no longer in the business, you don't need to ask the person before you left, did you leave rice before you left? Was there still, do we still have spag in store? So it's, the system kind of gives you all of this information with or without the person available. So as long as this information are imputed correctly in the system, it is deducted as at when due, and you can always get your information without reaching the person. And even when the person tells you, we have 2 spag, you check in the store as a business owner and still tell the person, no, we're supposed to have 3. Then they'll tell, oh, sorry, ma. Yes, we have 3. So it just brings some kind of transparency to the business and helps you to check your business in one way. You don't need to wait for Mr. A to resume work. You don't need to wait for Mr. B to send you a whole big, plenty Excel like that. You don't really need all of that. So this actually helps a business owner to have access to their store anywhere. So that being said, we are going to today, like I said, we'll be looking at material requests, our BOM, work order, and as well we'll be looking at our stock reports, the different way to check our stock reports. Now we have to start for inputting our items like we did last week. But okay, Mr. Oladimiji, your hands are up. Hello, Mr. Oladimiji, I can see your hand. Okay, so today we're going to start by creating our items, because this actually takes us from market to production. So when we are producing now, these items that we are going to be creating and we are going to be buying in are going to be our required raw materials. So I touched on how to create items in our last class. So today I'm going to be creating new items, but with your instructions, so we can see if we actually understand how these items are created in the system. So please, we can just unmute and direct me in creating items. I hope you can all see the screen. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hi,
Yes, we can hear you.
we can hear you.
So I said I am going to be creating items like I did the last time, but today we are going to be doing it on your instruction to see if we actually understand creating items in the system. So where do I start from? Where do I go? Mr. Mayo, yeah, you saw what?
The buy module.
Yes, I'm on buying module now.
When you go to items and pricing, items. Add new item.
Okay.
Then the item code.
So what item that we create? Like, do we even have an idea of what we're actually preparing?
Okay, you used ofada rice the last time.
Yes, I can't create a further again. So let's try something else.
Okay.
So what do we create now?
Let's say beans.
Okay. So what are we going to be preparing with beans?
Beans.
You can just give me, okay, let's create items that are around fried rice, and maybe any of your native food, African food or anything.
Okay, all right. We can use fried rice now.
All right, let's go then. So, I guess we're putting carrots.
Raw materials.
Please, can we all join this class? I think I have Mr. Maiwa. Very
Yeah.
lovely. Okay, raw materials.
We
What,
said
what should we use for our default unit of measurement in this case?
kg.
So I submit.
You
Let's save now.
what of opening stock?
Okay. Like I said, we're still going to go to the market to buy these things.
Okay,
We don't have them in stock yet.
okay.
Purchase seconds. So I explained something about maintaining stock here.
Yes. Yeah, you said maintaining stock is if you don't want the item to be tracked.
Yes, maintaining stock is when we maintain the stock, it basically means we want to track that particular item. When we're not maintaining this stock, that means we don't want this item tracked in our store. If we want to track how this item was used, how many kg of this item was actually bought in, we would have to track the item. That is, we need to maintain the stock. Do you get me?
Yes.
Okay, so I will save this. Still need to add more items. For the sake of the class, we don't need to prepare a perfect fried rice, if you understand what I'm saying. We don't need to prepare a very Chinese
Yeah.
fried rice. You say what?
You need green peas.
Okay, good. Our item group remains.
How much?
Okay, for the sake of people that were not in our class the last time, the raw material, we're making this item raw material because these are items we use in making productions. The raw material is not standard. Whenever you're creating an item that is, let's say, a menu that is a sellable material, these items are no longer raw materials. These are actually items that are ready. So you either create such items group as, let's say, African food. We're still going to be creating fried rice. So that way our item group will no longer be raw material because this is actually a finished good already. So it remains raw material. Do we leave this in tin or kg?
kg.
I would still be maintaining stock for this because I am. So I'll just leave it for now. Like I said, we're not preparing a perfect jollof rice, so please don't judge my ingredients. So we're not preparing a perfect fried rice. We are just going to just for description purpose, we're just going to stick to the major things. Now, when you're tracking item in every store, it's always advisable that you track items that are actually trackable. Just like you going to a store and they're telling you that, oh, ma, we also use what's it called? I've had questions like, do you need to track the cup of butter we use in making one rice, one bowl of rice? Do you need to track the salt? So like I said, it has to be items that are actually trackable so you don't get confused or you don't actually impute things that are like some of those cup now. Today they might decide to use 2 cups of water to cook a particular rice. We all know that some rice are not the same timing with others. So I might cook today rice with 2 cups, I might cook tomorrow rice with 2 cups. Those are things that are actually not trackable. You don't really need to track those things. So we're done with creating our item now. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to be creating fried rice since these items are actually meant to cook fried rice. So we're going to be creating fried rice as a menu. It's a finished good already, like I said. So I'm going to do the same process. I will add new item here, and then I'll edit it. And my item book for this particular item is going to be African food. And I'll maintain stock for it. And my selling price for this item, because it is the price I actually input now that displays for the waiters that are going to be selling this item. When they are making their orders, this item price actually displays on their own end. So my unit of measurement for this item, for my restaurants, I sell per portion. And for like 80% of restaurants, they actually sell per portions. I don't know of others, I don't know if they sell by plate or weight, but most restaurants actually sell their finished goods by portion. So I'm going to be doing this one in portions. And my standard selling price is going to be 6,000 per portion. So now that my items are ready, I have my list of items already. Now I want to go to the market and buy in these things before we can actually make production. Like I said, it's an inventory management and manufacturing class. So we're definitely going to be making productions. We're going to be cooking. Yeah, we're going to be making production and we need to go to the market. So I listed out some of our procurement circle. I listed out some procurement circle in our last class.
Yeah, you did.
I was about to mention. Thank you for mentioning that. So please, can you just remind us of procurement circle?
Purchase order, purchase invoice, and purchase receipt.
Please mention them in the description.
What?
Please mention them in the description. Like, what do they do?
I should what?
Please mention them with description. Like, what do they do?
Oh, okay. Purchase order is to inform the management of the level of purchases, and then purchase invoice. It kind of gives a representation of total purchases that is actually made or that is actually ordered. then by the procurement officer. Then I think you said purchase receipt. You said payment of purchases are actually made by procurement officer. That's for the purchase invoice. And then you talk of purchase receipts is actually made like that you can actually bypass purchase order and purchase receipts. Sorry, purchase order and purchase invoice. That is for a monopoly system.
Okay.
Purchase order and purchase invoice for a monopoly system that you can actually bypass that and generate a purchase receipt. But for in terms of a multinational company or company that deals with diverse goods, that is better to go from one step to another, purchase order, purchase invoice, and purchase receipt.
Thank you. Miss Mpreke, you were busy.
Okay, you said purchase order, purchase receipt, and purchase invoice. The purchase order is the list of items you'll be needing in the store, and it's done by the procurement officer. And when the procurement officer makes the list, he will show it to the supervisor who can edit or change, that the supervisor or has the permission to either edit or change the price cost or know the supplies that are available. Then he said, when the procurement officer comes back from the market, he sends it to the store. Then the store manager will have to go through all he wrote on all the things on the list to make sure or to confirm what was received and also take stock. He can also weigh, he will also weigh to check if everything is accurate. Then he will raise a purchase receipt. Then after that, he sends it to the purchase or to the accountant, who then makes the purchase invoice and payment.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Yes, I said that purchase orders are usually raised by procurement officers. That's the person who goes to the market. I made an instance of, was it Mr. Mayowa, or I made an instance of someone running low in their personal space, in their house now, running low of items and having to list out the things they need. That's like a purchase order already. Then taking it to the market and buying the things that actually, that probably your money could buy, or the things you could get. Now I'm bringing it back home now. The store manager or the store person receive these items. That is when this person actually raised the purchase receipt. And then after being confirmed by this person, giving us the total quantity items that were actually brought in. So the accountant raised the purchase invoice and paid for these items. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Pepe and Mr. Mayo. Thank you very much. So we're going to be running the purchase order first. Like I said before, we're going to be buying in things to the store, and we're going to be preparing things like making production here. So my purchase order now, just like we did for item, I would take instructions from you because I actually run purchase order in our last class. I run purchase order and purchase orders. So I'll take instructions from you on where to go to and how to do it. Purchase order, please. Are we there?
Okay, buy module. I think you have to go to the buy module first.
Thank you very much.
Then purchase order, you can check in the navigation or search bar.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just bringing it back. Okay, I can use this or I use a search bar.
Then you click on purchase order. Add purchase order. Then input the date.
I need it today.
Then the supplier.
Okay, so the company I'm using today pays, before I forget, I'm going to be using Lamy Space today. That's our company. So, our supplier,
We use open market because you get the goods from an open market.
okay, thank you very much. Okay,
And
all right, okay.
okay. Target warehouse. Right?
Market warehouse is going to be our store. That's what we're expecting to get in.
An item code.
I think we'll buy carrots since we just created it.
Yes.
Buy
Cream peas.
rice. It's the things we're going to be needing for the food goods are actually things we're going to buy.
Green beans.
Waiting for. Okay, so even if we don't, sorry, even if we did not create items, these are the options of items related to this particular name down the system. So you can easily add a new, create a new item over here. Hello, can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
I think your screen is frozen.
How about now?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's better now.
Okay, so we're creating green pepper. And our item group remains raw
Raw
material. Do they sell green pepper in pieces? I mean, sorry, do they use it in pieces or kg? I think
Sell it in kg. Or you can buy it in pieces too.
no, it doesn't matter how you actually buy these things. The things that matters here is how you receive these items and how you use these items.
Okay.
So we're going to leave it at kg then. Okay, let's do drinks now. So So these are the required dates for this particular item, and then these are the quantities. So for the carrot, I'll be needing 5 kg. 5 kg. Let's see. I'll be needing 5 kg for this, and then for the raw rice, I'll go with 20 kg. And then my chicken is 20 kg. My green pepper, I will that 10 kg. So my cook, I'll be having 24 pieces. That's rice, 24 pieces. So now these items, whenever you are inputting these items on a purchase order, it picks your last purchase price. The last price you actually bought this particular item the last time you went to the market. As you can see, the carrot and green pea do not have weight yet because they're actually new items and they actually do not add valuation or weight to them. That's why they don't add any price coming up. So after inputting the price to this today or now, the next time I'm going to be raising a purchase order, the last price I am inputting presently will be showing in my next purchase. So it's not like there for you not to change. You can always make changes to them according to how the market is saying. So let me say per kg of my carrots is 15 naira. Very expensive. Okay, I'll go with 300 naira for a kg. My green pea, I'll do with 500 naira per kg. And then my raw rice, okay, let's say the market is not different. I'm making 800. My raw chicken, I'm doing 400. My green pepper, we're doing 600. My coke, I'm doing 200 mil. For this, I'm doing 200 mil. So I just save this purchase order now. And then I save it. So for the sake of people that were not in our last class, I mentioned that after creating the purchase order for a business that has a workflow or procedures and hierarchies that needs some certain documents to be approved by someone before those documents can actually go forward. Now you can easily attach this work order or assign it to someone who is higher than you as a procurement officer who actually needs to approve these things first before you go. This person will get a notification in terms of a mail, and this person will have you would still have like not approved notification on your own side, and you can see that this person has not actually approved your document. So you actually can't do anything on that particular document until that document is approved. So once the person gets a notification, this person has the permission to change whatever he or she feels is not correct. This person might feel, oh, your carrot is too expensive, or no, let's buy, instead of going to the market every day, let's buy this carrot at once instead of having to go to market again the next day or another time. So let's just buy this carrot like 10 kg. When this person adjusts this purchase order, you get a notification now as a procurement officer, and this person sees the changes that has been made and can now go to the market with these changes. Now, after our purchase order, after we've raised our purchase order, this purchase order now can go to the market and we can now buy our items. So the next thing we're going to be doing here will be our purchase receipt. So how do we go about our purchase please? Let me show you. Mr. Mayowa. Sorry, good afternoon, Mr. Kende.
I'm here.
Yeah, sorry, please, I'm going to. Good afternoon, Mr. Kende.
Good afternoon.
Oh, sorry, it's a miss. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not having class, but I hope you are catching up.
Yeah, the last class, my network was acting up, so I couldn't get like 100% out of the class. So.
Oh, okay. So you were at the class from the beginning and.
For this class?
No, I mean for the previous class.
Previous class, yes, I was from the class from the beginning, but the network was really bad. So I was just in and out. So.
Okay, all right. So did you get this part from the previous class, or did you just do the again for me?
I only get just little information from the previous class. Like I need to watch a replay of it to really get the whole information.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Okay.
I would get back to you again after this class. We're still going to have like a rerun on our questions again. I understand there's some things in our previous class, but then after this class, we're having a rerun.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. So the next thing we're going to be doing after our purchase order, like we said before, is going to be our purchase receipt. Now this purchase receipt will be received by my store manager as a business owner now. My store manager needs to confirm the things that were actually bought by my procurement officer. My procurement officer went to the market and said he needs to buy carrots 5 kg. Now, when my procurement officer comes back, this thing needs to be confirmed before actually receiving them into the store. Because whatever my purchase officer will see will actually reflect on my store, and those are the things that will be deducting at the end of the day. So now I'm going to be preparing my purchase receipt from this particular open market purchase order. We actually have two ways about this. I'm going to go back. So this is our purchase order as we created for the sake of our previous class. This is our purchase order as created. So we can always make our purchase receipt from this particular purchase order. The advantage of making our purchase receipt from this purchase order is because it actually brings forward every information on this purchase order. So we don't have to start imputing items. So the only thing as a store officer I need to do when I create a purchase receipt from this item is actually to edit things that are actually not as written on this document. So I will be using this purchase receipt here, or I can as well use my create bar over here and use purchase receipt. So like I said, every information I brought forward when I create a purchase receipt from this item, from this already existing purchase order. Every information on that purchase order comes forward, and then we'll have the items over here. I, as a purchase store person now, confirm this item, confirm the item name, the quantity that was brought forward, and then before I can actually submit it. So now, this is our purchase order. This is our purchase receipt, sorry. And like I said before, we can always edit our dates. I just click on my dates and I can always edit my dates. Let's say my procurement officer did not actually come back with that item on that same day. I can always edit my dates to the day he or she bought those items. And then my source warehouse, my warehouse that I'll be accepting these items in is actually very, very compulsory to fill. Because at the end of the day, Wherever you accept this item in, that's where this item has actually been deducted. If I accept this item in finished goods, that means whenever I'm actually just in a real life sense, I can't accept carrots in finished goods because this goods is actually not prepared yet. This particular item is raw material, so I am not selling raw material. As long as I'm selling an already finished goods, this item is supposed to go through the store first before going to finished goods. Because like I said from our last class, we have 4 warehouses. We have our goods in transit. We have our work in progress. We have our goods in transit store, our store, and then our work in progress, which is where the manufacturing is done, and then we have our finished goods. So we have our item over here, and we're going to be receiving this item in our store. This is our store here. And then we can confirm the item. From our previous class, I was able to receive parts items, and we saw how these items actually change from different status. So you would have to check our previous video, but for this video, we are going to be receiving this complete item for the sake of our class and for the fact that we actually need this item to make production and go forward. So we're going to receive this item completely because for the first time, our procurement officer actually got everything we needed as noted. So this will be saved. And then I will submit. Once my document is still under draft, I can always edit them. But once a document is saved, you don't have the permission to edit them anymore. Until your document is saved, you can always edit your documents. So now I have saved this document, and it is showing me now that I only have to pay for this item, which brings us to the next purchase circle, which is our purchase invoice. Because my store person now has confirmed that, okay, I brought this item, I saw this item, I received this item, so we can now pay for them. So then I would add a purchase invoice here, or I can as well go to my create bar here and add my payments, my purchase invoice. So I'll be using this one since we use that for purchase invoice, for purchase receipt. And our total bill is already displaying here, which is 105,600. From our previous class, we actually made part payments. But for this class, we're going to be making full payments. So we've paid for this item. You can see that our status has changed from to bill to pay. So now we're going to look at our store to confirm that this item actually got into our store before we move further to production and material transfer, material request. So I'll check my stock balance. So these are my items. Let's do just go. So these are my items I bought in today. I bought carrots, I bought Coke, and the balance is still 5 kg and 12 bottles because I haven't made any transaction or any manufacturing from this item. So the balance is still the same thing. This balance is still as I bought them. And then we are having our open stock for the new item we bought. You can see that our open stock was 0 because we actually didn't increase any open stock. And then over here for our Coke bottle, I bought 24. But because we have an already negative store, like I mentioned from our previous class, sometimes this store actually have a minus, a negative status, reminding you as a store officer that some items are actually being used, but you have not received this item because obviously the system cannot deduct on things that are not used. So whoever is in charge of the final product, that is someone that is selling, let's say the waiter that is selling now has been making sales from your store. This reminds you that you actually have a purchase order that has not been received. That's when you usually have this negative, this minus sign in your stock balance. So over here, you can see that my in quantity for that Coke was 24. My pepper is 5. I bought 5 kg. And then I have my green pepper, green pea, and raw chicken with rice. Now my raw chicken is 20 kg. My rice is still 20 kg. So nothing has gone out yet because no transaction has been made and no manufacturing has been made. So that brings us to making our transaction. First of all, we're going to be doing material request. This material request is done for the drinks, like the bar. Now, the drinks are leaving the store to the bar. The bar person or the person in charge of the bar now is requesting from the store that, hey, Mr. Storeman, I am running low in my bar and I need some items in my bar. So now we are going to be transferring these items, these drinks, to the finished goods where the barman can actually sell. Like I mentioned before, drinks are already finished goods because they don't go through any processes anymore. We don't need to cook or boil them. They are not, except for cocktail, mocktail, or any kind of pre-made drink. Except that all other drinks are already made and they can be transferred to our finished goods. So now we're going to be making our material transfer to our finished goods for the drinks, and then we're going to be preparing a BOM for our fried rice because this fried rice needs to be cooked and brought to the finished goods. Now let's make our material transfer. Now for material transfer, I'll go back to my home page. For everything you're doing on the ERP, you can easily make your search here or you navigate from the home page. So I'm going to be navigating from the home page with my material request. So here I have material request here. Now for some cases, we have some cases where they have a central store, like a general store where everyone still needs to come over and pick their items. The first bar still needs to pick their items. Another bar from, let's say, I'm in Lagos. From Surulere, we have a branch. And then we have another branch at Aja. Now, Aja is our central store. On the system, our last class, we looked at how to create a store, a new warehouse. On the system, you would have, you will create these warehouses. You can identify these warehouses by their names, maybe Aja or Surulere. Now, you can easily, from the main store, you can easily transfer items to the to the other stores are saved on the system. Now, like I said before, let's assume that we have a central store. Now, this central store receives this item from wherever this item is coming from, um, either from a supplier or from an open market. When this central store receives this item, then the other stores can now make a material request, telling the central store that we need item A, item B in our store. So here we have our material request here, and we can easily also search for our material request. I'm using the home page for my material request. And then I will add new. Add material request. Now this is my material request template. The purpose of my material request here like I said, I am moving my drinks to my finished goods because I want to be able to sell them. Because until an item is actually in a finished goods, we can't sell them yet. So because every item that has been sold from the front end, from the point of sales, is selected and taken from the finished goods. So until this item is actually in finished goods already, we cannot make sales. And even when we make sales, these sales are actually deducted with a negative sign, that's a minus. So the purpose of my material here, my material request is material transfer because I'm transferring it from store A to store B. Same applies to having multiple stores and also transferring this item from store A to store B. So this is it. My required date, I'm still going to be using today. And then my source warehouse, I am taking it from the store to finished goods. And the items we're going to be transferring are Coke, 20. I am going to be transferring 20 because of the class. Definitely, the barman cannot collect 20 at once because this is actually a store. You're expected to take what you'll be needing in your business for that day. And this brings us to the reason why this store is being monitored. I am giving barman 10 Coke. At the end of the day, when my salesperson, my waiter is making sales, and these drinks are being deducted from my finished goods, the amount of drinks my waiter sold for that day will reflect in my report, and also my stock balance will also reflect. So these two actually work together until these items are completed. Like for the store manager now, you know already that when a bar person comes to you and tell you, I need extra drink, you check their store, which is the finished goods, and you notice that you still have drinks from the previous day. Wait till that one finish first, then we will restock them. So for this particular case, I'm going to be using 20. No, let me do 10, so we can see how it deducts from the main store. And Sprite. So I think these are the two drinks we bought in. Hello, are we there? Hello.
Yes,
Hi.
ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, these are the two drinks we actually bought. So I'm going to be transferring these two drinks to finished goods. And then I say and submit. These things are actually pending because this item has been transferred, but it has not been confirmed that they actually need it in that store. So I need to actually create a transfer material itself for it to actually be in that store. As it is now, it is actually a request. It has not been transferred yet. So now I'm going to be transferring the material. Like the bar person now made this request, and now me as the store person now, I'm transferring the material. Now these colors showing in this our item bar, and this our item code, are 3 colors. Are you listening? Okay, the colors are actually 3. We have the green, we have the orange, and we have the red. Presently, it is showing me orange because these items are actually on below average already. When the items are very much available, let's say for instance, my item let's say I have like 50 code and I'm transferring 10. I would have green. I will have it showing a green color. That is, I still have enough in the store. So, but when I'm having an orange color, it means it is coming. It is below average already. So when I'm requesting over than what is in store, I will be having it in red color. That's telling me that this item is actually not available, but we're actually sending a request to the store. So I'll save this. My source warehouse will next door. My target warehouse, finish this. And then we save and submit. So we're going back to our stock balance now. We're going to go through our various stock reports that we have to see how these items are actually moving from the store to their other stores. So now we have 2 basic stock reporting platform. We have our stock ledger and we have our stock reports. I mentioned that we have difference between the stock reports the last time. Can someone remind us what the difference between these 2 stock are?
Yes, you said the stock ledger helps to break down the items as they move. And the balance. Did you ask difference between stock ledger and stock balance?
Yes, yes.
Okay, the stock ledger helps to break down the items as they move, and the stock balance shows that the items are used or gives us the sum of what have been used but not replaced.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Does anyone else understand what meant by stock balance and stock ledger? Because fast. Okay, so yes, the stock balance actually gives you a sum up of everything that's been happening in your store from the day to the day you're filtering for. We have the permission to filter for what we actually need over here, the days we actually need them. So this is a stock ledger. I'm going to open a stock balance over here so we'll see the difference. Now, everything I open, every stock balance, stock ledger, these things can actually be viewed by timing. Let's say, for instance, I am running a club and you want to check my stock balance. Already, my club opens by, let's say, 4 p.m. and I run till the next day. So when you're checking my stock balance or when you're training these people on checking their stock balance, you will not just use a stock balance because this particular stock balance gives me a record of the day, like from 12 a.m., 12 midnight to 12 midnight this day, like all 24 hours. That's what this particular stock balance gives me. Now, when I'm running such business where they run overnight, when they run to the next day, what I need to do is search for stock balance with timing over here. Now, stock balance with timing gives me the dates, the from time. Let's say I want it from 4 p.m. to 4 p.m. I have the permission to adjust it as at the time I would like it to be. We have clubs that are actually open by 4 p.m. and their closing time is 9 a.m. So in such business cases, we filter for them by their business time, because at the end of every business, a typical owner of a business will want to know what is remaining and what actually needs to be stocked for the next business time. So I can just filter for them as at this time, this is what you have remaining in your store. As at this time, this is what you actually have remaining in your store. I hope you understand that. So for this, my company, Lami's place actually run between 4 hours restaurant. So now this is a typical stock balance. This is how a stock balance looks like. And this is a stock ledger. I mentioned that a stock ledger gives you a breakdown on how these things are actually used. From when it was used, let's say 2 was used now, 3 was used the next time, 4 was, a stock ledger gives you a breakdown of everything. Now, this is a stock balance. I transferred Coke. Coke. This is the balance of Coke. Let me do my stock. Here's my Coke. I transferred Coke. I transferred 10 Coke, like 10 Coke. This is my out quantity. I transferred 10 Coke. Originally, the Coke was already showing minus 12. So immediately I brought in 24. The system deducts the 12 you've been owing the system. So now we had 12 available. So from this 12 that was available, I transferred 10 to finished goods. So now the balance available in the main store is 2. Now I can now check my finished goods warehouse to check my code. So from my finished goods warehouse, I have 22 available. This 22 available means as of today, I had 12 available in my finished goods, and then I brought in 10. As you can see, I brought 10 into the store, which means I had 24 available. This is my out quantity. This is my out quantity value, and then this is my this is my in quantity, and this is my out quantity. So this one is what came into this finished goods. So now let's look at the stock ledger and the difference now. This is the stock ledger. I brought in carrots, 5 kg. I have not taken anything from carrots, and I have it in balance, 5 kg. And the store I brought it into was finished goods. Now, I brought in same thing with raw rice, green pea, raw chicken, and green pepper. Now, already with date actually, already I made a transaction from the Coke that I brought in. I brought in 24 pieces of Coke, bottles of Coke rather. I brought in 24 bottles of Coke, and then over here I transferred 10 from this. Okay. I brought in, sorry, Maya, you were saying something.
It was a mistake, sorry.
Okay. I transferred 10 from this store, which means I have 2 remaining. Now these 10 are the out quantity, and they came into finished goods. This is the in quantity. Now this actually breaks down everything I need to know for that day or for the time I actually filter for. I hope this explains the stock report better. Any
No, I didn't
questions?
get I didn't get the explanation for the stock ledger.
Madam Lani, hello.
Yeah, Mudi.
Please, can you explain the stock ledger and the balance again? Like I don't understand it fully.
Okay, all right. I'll come again. Was that your question as well, Mr. Maiwa?
Yes, exactly the same thing.
Okay, all right. These are my stock reports opened side by side. This is a stock ledger, and then this is a stock balance. This is a stock balance, and this is a stock ledger. Now, these two reports actually shows me what's going on in my store, but in different ways. Okay. These two reports actually shows me what's going on in my store, but in different ways. How my store items are moving and where they are moving to. These two reports actually show me that. Now, the different ways they do their work is that this is a stock ledger. This stock ledger actually breaks down everything that happens in my store, regardless of breaks down everything that happens in my store by the time and date I actually imputed. Time and date I mean is that for businesses that run by time as when you're going to be adding a filter. So for this particular business, I'm going to be doing it by dates. This report shows you the things that happen in that store for that day. Now, this stock balance shows you, because let me filter for okay, this is the same filter. Now, this stock balance shows you the things that have been happening in that store till that day, giving you a breakdown of this item in summary. The ledger actually breaks these items down for you. Now, for instance, we brought in carrots and then we brought in Coke. Now, the carrot that we brought in were 5 kg. So I will filter for my store first. When we brought in these items into the store before we did our material transfer, we actually brought in 5 kg for carrots, and then we brought in 24. These are in quantity. These are in quantity now. We brought in 24, and then we brought in others like green pea, green pepper, raw rice, and all. So these are the things that actually, like, we didn't buy vegetable oil, but this stock balance already gives you a balance of what is in your store for that day. Are you getting me? Okay. Now the stock ledger, on the other hand, gives you the transaction that happened in the store. The things that I did not buy, the things that I did not transfer in that store that day, does not concern the stock ledger. Okay, let me give a scenario now. In my business, I still have okay, for my business here, I still have vegetable in my store. I have tonic water. I still have other things in my store. But you can see that my stock ledger does not show me other things that were in my store before then. It shows me the transaction that happened in my store in detail. Now, here is my carrots rather, 5 kg, my green pea, my raw rice, my raw chicken, my green pepper, and then my Coke and Sprite, Coke and Sprite. Now it is showing me the in quantity of this item. That is when I run my purchase circle. These were the things that actually came into the store. With these items actually came into the store using these quantities. Now over here, it is now breaking it down on the things that actually moved out of this stock. For the stock ledger, for the stock balance, since this one is in already, 5 is in already, 5 kg is in already, it will show you the out balance side by side already. You see it here. This is the in balance, this out balance. This is the in balance for Coke, 24, we bought 24 bottles, and then we transferred 10 bottles to the finished goods. It is showing you side by side already. But for the stock balance, it showed you that as at this time, as at 12:07, 1:07, these were the things that actually came in and nothing went out as at this time. So that's why I said the stock ledger actually gives you in details how these things actually moved out. Now it's showing you here that we moved out our Coke and then our Sprite, 10 bottles each. And then this is the balance as at this time. This is the balance of our Coke. We have 2 Coke remaining in our main store, and then we have 14 Sprites remaining in our main store because we actually brought in 24 Sprites in our main store. So does that explain your question?
Thank you, Maria. Yes.
Any other question on this? Before we move on.
Now I have a question.
Okay, sir. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. My question is concerning the purchase order, invoice, and receipt. Now, my understanding of the way it was being explained is that for once to generate the purchase order, then you need to move down to the receipt, then to the invoice. That means the person, the supplier you're buying from, you have an account with them already. What if you are buying from a new supplier and you need to go along with the money for purchase? Now, do you have to, and the way you explained it, you said that after generating the purchase order, then you move to the invoice. That is after you've gotten the material, you take them to the store. When the store manager has accepted everything and it's all in order, then the purchase manager generates the purchase invoice for payment. What if I'm getting a new supplier and I need to go along with the money? I don't have a standing relationship with the person. Do I still need to generate the purchase invoice without payments? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I actually understand what you're saying.
Okay.
That
So
means they actually used an open market as a supplier name. We did not use a supplier name. The open market we use is not the name of the supplier. The open market simply means that I, as a procurement officer, I am walking into a market to get things from a random vendor. I don't have this vendor's account. As you can see, when I was paying for this items, I paid using cash. Now, that doesn't mean that my procurement officer actually went to the market and bought these things on credit. No. That actually means that I gave this procurement officer this money, and this procurement officer actually bought these things using this money, and I confirm this is what I gave the procurement officer. That's what it just means. It doesn't mean that I'm buying them on credit. I'm sending my procurement officer to go to the market and buy things on credit. No, because it's an open market, which means the procurement officer can go to any market of his or her choice, as long as you feel these places actually sell better in terms of bulk. So when I was paying as an accountant for my purchase invoice, I paid using a purchase using cash, because it doesn't matter. I might actually transfer to my procurement officer's account, but for my own, for this class, I paid in cash. It doesn't mean that my procurement officer actually paid there and then I'm reimbursing my, no. My procurement officer actually went there with the money I gave him, and the list I received from the store officer now confirms that this item that I actually, this money that I actually gave this procurement officer, they actually use it to buy all of this item that still sum up to the money I gave out. In terms of suppliers, that's when I will need my supplier's account number, which I would credit my supplier. Probably after my procurement, my store officer has actually confirmed that what the supplier actually brought in were correct as requested. So that's when I will need my procurement, my supplier's account number. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Do we have any other question, please? Any question? Any question? Do we understand the stock balance and stuff like that? Lillian, I can see your hands up.
Yes.
Please, you're breaking. I don't know if it's just me, you're breaking over there. Can anyone hear Lillian properly?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear Lillian properly?
No.
No, I can't. I can't.
Yes. Please, Lillian, your network is a bit. Can you drop us a chat? Maybe I can read out your chat on the Zoom. Just drop a chat on the Zoom chat. So maybe I can read it out. Did you get that? Okay. While we are waiting for Lillian's message and questions, I will just continue and get back to her questions when she drops one. So as you can see, 10 items. As you can see from our stock here, our store here, these are the items that have actually moved out. So now, since we're actually dealing with our finished goods, I'll check out the things that are available in our finished goods. Already we can see that we don't have fried rice in our finished goods. In reality, in real sense now, this is to tell the chef that we don't have fried rice to sell. Because this finished goods actually means these are the things available to sell for that day. These are the things we have. Even with these things available now, any customer that comes in and tells me he needs fried rice, he would have to come back. Because that means that fried rice is not available just yet. Lillian, I'm still waiting for your question. Okay, so from this now, it means these are the items available in finished goods. So at the end of every day, the manager or whoever is in charge of this can tell what's actually left the store for that day and what came into the store for that day. Now, from my balance, you can see that nothing has actually happened in this store yet. I haven't made any sales for today. Let's just say I'm just coming up. Like I'm just trying to arrange my store and everything. Everybody's still cooking. We are still cooking from the back end. Now, these are the things I have available. I have jollof rice. Okay. I have eyes of spade, which I have 12 available. This is not available. So I have barbecue chicken available. I have 2 barbecue chicken available. And then I have Coke, 22 bottles of Coke, Crystal, 12 bottles of that. I'm having jollof rice, 6 portions of jollof rice is available actually. And then I have 10 bottles of Sprite and tonic water, 12 bottles of tonic water. These are the things I have in my store. I can't make sales outside these available things in my store because this is actually the physical store. This is actually what the physical store also have available as well. So now to make my production, I would have to go through BOM first. Let me go back to my home page. Now to make production on the system, the first step to make every production on the system is BOM. using our BOM. So now we're going to check out what we mean by the BOM. A BOM is a list of items. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. A BOM is a list of items, sub-assemblies with quantities. Like I said before, the items we were trying to create the other time were the raw materials we'll be needing to produce this, to produce fried rice, to produce this already finished goods. Now, BOM is a representation of all the raw materials we'll be needing in terms of the quantity and the value, because BOM simply means bill of material. This is the process where a user, a manufacturer, sorry, I think I have a message. Okay, let me read out Lillian's question. Please let me know if I'm getting it correctly, Lillian. She said her question is, if the purchase order is created before or after the procurement officer has gone to the market, especially when using the open market. If it is before, how can one update the list in a situation where I'm getting to the market, the procurement officer finds out the price of item differs from what is on the list? Okay, Lillian, from our previous class, we actually made a procurement, a purchase order, and then by the time procurement officer came back, we assumed the price in which we assumed that when procurement officer got to the market, the things he or she wrote down to buy were not available completely. So he or she brought what was available, and we actually edited that document from our previous class. So yes, when your procurement officer is going to the market, they don't necessarily have to get that item with the price attached to that item. You can always edit your purchase receipts. When you're receiving this item, your purchase officer can, or your store officer can always edit the purchase receipt, because this is Nigeria. Items are not written on stone. Item prices are not written on stone. It goes from way up to way up every day, every time. So I can go to the market today, and Lydian can also go to the market tomorrow, get the same thing, but in this different price. So we have room to always adjust the prices. Like I said, when you're inputting the purchase order on the system, it brings forward your last purchase prices. The last time you went to the market, the amount you actually got that price, that item, that is what comes up. So you have room and permissions to actually edit these prices. It is not there forever. You can always edit them. And also, you also mentioned that does the procurement officer have to make this list before they go? Now, this list is like a guideline for this procurement officer. It's like a plan. Normally, when you just go to the, in a business setting, the procurement officer doesn't just go to the market with vibes and inshallah. You don't just go to the market and say, okay, let me just go. It is when you're actually running your personal home. Even with your personal home, you can't actually go to the market with just like that. No, you can't. You would have to actually have an idea of what is running low in the house. So now a procurement officer doesn't just, in a professional setting, let me use that, in a professional setting, you must have a list you are working with. Now the purchase order now is the list you're working with. It can be printed, it can be sent by mail, it can depend on how you want to run with it. So now it is always advisable that you actually have a list. And for a system where they actually approve and monitor these things, they would want you to actually provide a list. So you don't go to the market and claim that you want to buy things that are already existing in the store. So I hope I answered your question, Lillian. Please let me know if you're good from your charts. All right. So we're saying that bill of material. Now, a bill of material represents how much an item originally cost. How much the cost of an item originally. For instance, I'm a business owner and you're approaching me. I want to tell you now, this bill of material tells the business owner if they're making profits or not. Because while I'm creating my bill of material, I am told already that this is the amount I'm spending on one plate of rice. When I'm not selling this plate of rice, it gives you the difference in value, and you know if you're making profits or you're making loss. So the bill of material is like a bill to every raw material you're using to produce this item. So we're going to be doing it in practical and see how this thing runs. Now, before you create a bill of material, you have to make sure that you have an item available, you have all of your items available on the system. The items you're going to be using to make this production process. So definitely you can't go into the kitchen without having your items ready. So I would share my screen back to okay. So now we're going to be creating my bill of material, which brings us to the manufacturing area of this class. Do we have any question on our inventory management as we're moving on to manufacturing? Any question? Any question? Can I move on, please? Okay, I guess I can move on here now. All right, thank you, Lillian. I got your message. All right, to search for, to prepare a BOM now, we search for a BOM here and we get our BOM list from our search bar. So already on the system, we have a BOM for jollof rice and chicken, barbecue chicken available on the system. Now, this BOM is not done on every production. BOM is a one-time thing. BOM is, like I said, it is to bill your material, to know how much your material is actually worth, to know how much your production is worth. In some cases, when I'm listing out items, some customers actually prefer listing out their manpower as well. The manpower, their fueling, their gas, and everything. They put prices to them in order to get an accurate price of this item. But in some other cases, we have very lazy staff that will tell you, oh no, I can't start measuring. Meanwhile, this thing is just a one-time thing. It's just that the quantity you told me from the initial start that you are using needs to at least be similar to what you're actually using in reality. Because this BOM deducts what you told the BOM you're using for a particular plate of rice. So I'm expecting that, let's say my waiter is selling one plate of rice now, and you told me that 2 kg of rice, for instance, 2 kg of rice makes 1 portion of rice. And then tomorrow you're now making 2.5 kg of rice for 1 portion of rice. Already my store is shaking. Already my stock balance would be having some minus in them already. So to move forward, I'm going to be creating a new BOM, and then I'll teach us now to look at previously existing BOMs. So I'll create a new BOM for fried rice by adding BOM. So the BOM now would ask you the item you're producing, the item you want to bill rather. So I am billing fried rice. Over here, I am billing the fried rice according to the quantity I am inputting here. Now that means if I am saying I'm preparing one portion of fried rice with 1 cup of rice, with 300 grams of rice, that means the system will deduct for every sales of fried rice, the system deducts 300 grams of rice from the system, from the store. Automatically, 200 grams of rice is deducted for every sales of fried rice. Now I'm preparing one. And this actually the rates of material based on, so the items I'm going to be inputting now, how I want the system to rate this item is what is requested for here. Now, when you're creating an item, whenever you input your valuation rates and you click on valuation rates here, when the system is picking bills, the system picks bills from valuation rates, from the valuation rates you inputted. So I want this system now to pick my prices from my last purchase prices. So as I'm making purchases, every purchase I make, let's say for instance, I bought this particular bag of rice for 6,000 naira. Next week, I'm buying another bag of rice for 10,000 naira. So for every of my last purchases, the prices, the value actually changes. So I'm going to be using my last purchase rates. And the items we'll be needing are raw rice, green pepper, green pepper,
Green pea.
green pea, thank you, carrots, vegetable oil, okay, I'll leave it at that. Like I said, I'm not cooking a perfect jollof and fried rice. Don't judge my ingredients, please. So now the quantity I'll be using for one portion of fried rice is required here. For one portion, not forgetting. Now for one portion of my fried rice, for raw rice, I'm going to be using 300 grams. So it's going to be 0.3. Green pepper, I'm using 0.45. 0.5. Green pea, I'm using 0.5. Same with carrots. Then my vegetable, I'm using 0.3. So over here, these are my items. These are the quantity of items that makes up one portion of fried rice as I have written. And these are the units of measurements for all of these items. Now, originally, these items are what this rate for a full kg. Now, for rice, for 1 kg is 800 naira from our last purchase. And then for green pepper, we are having 600 naira from our last purchase. Now, over here now, we're now having these items. This raw rice, this 300 gram now is 240 naira. It's 240 naira rather. So this rate now is by this quantity. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So here now, it is now showing that for this fried rice, this is the amount that will cost us to make it. 1,390 naira. Like I said, for some organizations, you see them listing manpower, electricity, gas, just to get the accurate price of this item. And truthfully, that's actually like the most ideal way to do it. So now, this is what this item is worth. And then I say, and I submit. Now this BOM is already existing. This doesn't mean that the item is ready. This is actually to tell you that you can tell how nice my fried rice is looking, even if you think I don't have my complete item. So this is the item, this is what is required to provide this item. Now, as a production person, let's say as a chef, I am going to be wait, no. Okay, so now as a chef, I am going to be selling, let's say I need to produce like let's say templates of fried rice in store. So this can be sold. Now, there's what this brings us to what we call work order. This is like an instruction given to the kitchen on what to make and what to make available. So now to create this manufacturing instruction, I will go through this particular BOM, and I will create a work order. I can easily create a work order from this particular BOM, or I can use this work order here plus sign, just the way we use it for the purchase circle. So I'll be using the work order here. And I'll be creating 10. So now this is the work order, and this work order is like an instruction to the chef or whoever is in charge of the kitchen, telling them this is what I need for my store, or this is what I need for today. This is what, let's say, this actually helps us to control the waste in terms of food that are not completely sold out for the day. Now, what we produce every day differs, depends on what's going on. Now, what the amount of rice a restaurant cooks on a normal day, it's different from when it's actually festive period. So this BOM actually gives the chef or the head of chef the instruction on what to cook and how many quantity you actually need available. Now I'm creating a work order for fried rice. Navigating through the existing BOM actually helps bringing forward all of the information needed. Like I said, for the purchase orders, it brings forward all the information on that particular document, and that saves you for every other item inputting. So now I have told the system, or I have told the chef, that this is the quantity of fried rice I need available. And then my source warehouse is going to be store, and my target warehouse is going to be finished goods. This is finished goods. This is store and finished goods because the raw items are still coming from the store itself. So the finished goods now takes the main item, which is the fried rice. We're going to check through that. And then I say, I submit. So now the work order is an instruction given to my chef. This is what we need, and this is the quantity of the things we actually needed. Now, this work order can be assigned to the chef via mail or however your organization needs these things to be assigned. Is either they get a mail or they get a notification if they have a login to the site as well. So in either ways, once the chef or the head chef is done with what they are preparing, then they need to finish it up by clicking on finish here, and they are creating it. That way, this item actually appears on finished goods, making it available for the front end to operate on sales. So now my source warehouse is for my finished goods remain target warehouse. And then I say, so this fried rice is ready. And that's why I have my complete status here. And then I have my 10 items produced notification over here. So you can see what I'm producing and how many quantity I actually put. And this also shows me, shows us, whoever is checking, shows us the status and how the production of these items are actually going. Now the fried rice is ready, and it should be in our finished goods already. So like I said, BOMs are not created every day. BOMs are created once a business is starting, we create a BOM for all of their items. Now, what they need to be creating afterwards is their work order, which is an instruction to their head chef or their chef or whoever it is, whatever they call them in the organization. This is an instruction to that person that this is what we need for today, and this needs to be produced today. So the BOM itself is just the one thing that needs to be fixed. Now I would look at the rest of our BOM so we can understand that BOMs. Okay, this is jollof rice. And jollof rice, these are the items we said we use for jollof rice. Pepper, raw rice, and vegetable oil. Now, this jollof rice now, let's say I want to create more, probably it's finished from my finished goods, and now I want to create more jollof rice. So I'll just click on this create here and add create, and let's say I'm creating 2 because I already have about, I think, 6. Okay, let's say I'm creating 4. And this is it. My source warehouse remains store. My finished goods is my target warehouse. This is a work order which I have given out now. So now on my shelf, you can see that the production process of my status of my jollof rice now is under 0, but the instruction has been given out and it's not started yet according to the status. Now I'll finish it up and create. Now let's say the time I'm giving my jollof rice to be ready should be, I'm done already. I'm done already. And you can always edit the time and you can always edit the date by clicking on this, edit posting date and time. Okay, now that means my jollof rice is as well ready. So we're now going to check on my stock balance and my stock order to see which of these things are actually available in store presently. So I'm doing my stock balance. And I'm checking my finished goods, not forgetting. So this is it. Now I cooked jollof rice and fried rice. I cooked 10 portions each. Now my jollof rice was six available before, and then I produced 4 more. There was nothing available for my fried rice when I created, so I made 10 portions of fried rice. So these are my balanced quantity. These are my available items in store. These are the things that I can actually sell in store now. So this is my fried rice. This is my jollof rice as produced, and of course I have my barbecue chicken available. Also, I have my drinks available as well. So now these items are ready in my finished goods. So the way these raw items, the way these raw items like the rice and everything actually deducted from the store are what we're going to check now. Now this is my raw rice. This is my raw rice, and I opened my balanced raw rice presently is 19 kg. I opened with I bought 20 kg in, if you can remember, I bought 20 kg in, and then my house quantity, according to my production for my fried rice and my jollof rice, my house quantity total to 4.2 kg. These are the things that actually went out. And same with my green pepper, my carrots. My carrots initially we had 5 available. So now my out quantity is now 5 kg. Also, my green pepper, yeah. My green pepper, I had 5 kg available initially. I brought in 5 kg and then I made a production of 5 kg were out. So this is like my out quantity description, and you can get everything here, all of my out quantity here, and then my balance at the end of the day. Now for my finished goods, this is also my balance at the end of the day. Until sales are made, until I actually made sales on these finished goods, I still would have my out quantity as 0 because I haven't made sales here yet. So our sales class is going to cover this part. We're going to be making sales with this item in our sales class. So I'm going to be skipping that part till tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually our sales class. So we're going to be leaving that. And this is our stock balance. Do we have any questions from our manufacturing processes? Do we have any question from our manufacturing processes? Eric, Mr. Freke, Mayowa, and the rest of the class. Hello.
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Basically, this brings us to the end of this manufacturing class. Like I said before, our sales class is going to cover up on the out quantity, where we see how this item actually move out and how they are deducted from the store. So generally, from our previous class and from our previous class and today's class, do we have any questions, or should I go ahead with my questions? So do I go ahead with my questions then? Okay. For our manufacturing class, we covered our BOM and our work order. So Miss Lillian, do you now have a better network? Hello. Okay. Good afternoon again, Kendi.
Good afternoon.
Yes. I hope you were able to understand our class today.
Yes, I did. But before you ask me a question, I have a question.
All right.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know, maybe this within the contents of the class we had today. I don't know. I just want to know, by the time you calculate your bill of material, and after that, from what you're producing, you got the cost of production. Now, does this system help you to calculate how much you're going to sell your product, or that is at your own discretion?
Okay. All right. How a business owner decides to run his or her business does not concern the system.
Okay.
The business is to tell you what the worth of this item is according to what you gave the business, the system. I told you already that this rice is worth 2,000 naira. Now, if you decide to sell your rice for 2,005 or 3,000 naira or 4,000 naira, that's like your business strategy. The system only guides you to the right path and makes it known to you that this particular thing or this particular path is actually running lost, or this path is running nice. So you are able to know the difference in your businesses using the system.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So that answers your question, I guess.
Yes, my question is answered. Thanks.
Okay, it's my own question. You can shift the question now. So it's my own question. I have made sales. Let's say, for instance, okay, since we haven't actually touched our sales aspect. So what's like when you create a BOM for a client, or when a client gives you their item and everything, their item they use in making a particular product. Let's say, for instance, they sell wine, and the client gives you all of the items they need in making this production. Now, from our purchase down to our production, I made mention of the fact that the best way to actually record your units of measurement is to stick to the units of measurement you're going to be using in terms of production. So this way, when the item is being deducted from the store, it is deducted according to what you're actually receiving to the store. Now you have you've received everything now. I, as a chef, how do I get to know that these items, that this rice that you want me to cook, how do I tell you as a purchase officer that these items are actually available or not? Like, is it possible for me to even cook this rice at all?
Okay. If I understand your question, you're asking me, if I understand your question very well, you're asking whether how the chef will make the store manager know that the materials are available for him to start production.
Yes.
From the way I understand the whole thing, no, I believe if for the chef to make production and so a BM must have to be prepared. Then from the store manager has to send a work order to the chef to let him know how many portion, how many quantity they have to make. You understand? So how do I answer that question?
Okay, to help understand my question properly, or to help answer my question properly.
Okay.
At the start of every business, rather, it is always advisable for every restaurant to know what they have in store.
Okay.
That's the whole process of using the system. The system tells them what they have in store and what they don't have in store. Now, I made mention of the three colors in terms of production or inputting items. So this three colors tells you already that this item are getting low or are not even available. Even before you even give the instructions to your chef, you are aware already that these things are not available. So all you need to do now is just to make a purchase order as a procurement officer to go get it.
The color that your items are giving you.
Yes, while inputting these items, the colors pop up already. You are aware that, like I mentioned, we have it from green,
Orange to green to
blue. So we have it to that length that describe if you don't want to check your stock balance. But ideally, it is always advisable to check your stock balance before every production, so you don't start running helter skelter. This is not ready and food is on the fire and all of that. So do you understand that one?
Thank you. I get the expansion.
Thank you very much. So do we have any other question, please?
No, ma.
Okay, thank you very much. From the rest of the class, do we have any other question? Eric, do you have a question for me?
No, not really. I think for me, I'll just go and when they upload the video, the recording, I'll just go and watch it again. Because today I was I was not stable, so I had a lot of things I missed. Hello?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I said you were not in the last class, and today you are having a bit of.
No, I was in last class. Oh,
Oh, really?
yeah. I think Mfeke was there too.
Yeah.
I was the one who you
Yes.
asked about if I go to the market,
Oh, yeah.
how am I going to, yeah,
I
how am
know.
I going to go about it? Like making the purchase order and the rest.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I said,
Huh?
yeah, that's clear now. Thank you.
So, but today I was quite occupied a bit. So, like sometimes I would just come, listen a little, then go and do something. So that's why. So I will just watch the recording later to understand it more.
All right, that's fine. You can always drop your question
On the
tomorrow.
group chat.
If I'm not looking at this, you can always come up with your question tomorrow. We have a
Oh,
revision
okay.
of that major class.
All
Next,
right. No worries.
I can see your hands up.
Hello, ma.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I want to know, do every, how do I put this now? Okay, on using the system,
Yes.
is the using of the system specified to some people, or every staff have to know how to use the system to enter the data and the whole thing, or there's specific set of people that have to know how to use it, and entering of the data is limited to them?
Okay, yes. Actually, the entire staff don't have to have access to the system. The major people that have access to the system and is actually the app are the waiters. Aside that, the business owners and whoever the business owner gives permission to. Now, whenever you are creating these users, they tend to have limited permission to their role. Let's say, for instance, as a waiter, you don't need to know what is going on in the accounting section. So these things are actually limited to their role. Everybody don't need to have a login. Even the procurement officer, like you're just saying procurement officer and all of that. Some procurement officers are not computer literate. Let me use that word. So most times they tend to submit their market list to the person who is in charge. Now, in an organization, we might just have like 2 or 3 people who have access to the back end. Now, the front end now being the app, will basically be for the waiters. Does that answer
Thank
that question?
Yes, thank you.
Any other question? Are we good, Mr. Freke?
I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I would.
You what?
I'm trying to wrap my head around everything you just said. I will just go through it and.
Okay, like I said, before the main class tomorrow, we can always come up with our questions and make a simple review of everything before we start the main class. All right, thank you very much to everybody for today's class and for the general class itself, like the inventory management class itself. Thank you very much for your time and being available. Tomorrow is another day. We're going to be looking at other things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That brings us to the end of the class.